Welcome back to New Day. For the first time, we're getting a glimpse of what the agency actually does with the information it gathers through the NSA surveillance program. The new details were published in the New York Times, and they're adding fuel to the growing concern over privacy. CNN's Pamela Brown joins us more with that information people need to know.
That's right. This is new information, Chris, as you pointed out. The New York Times saying that since November 2010, the NSA has been collecting data to unlock as many secrets as possible about certain American citizens who officials believe may have a link to foreign intelligence interests. As one privacy expert put it, the way the information is being used is a digital equivalence of tailing a suspect.
The NSA isn't only tracking metadata from your phone calls and email logs, it's using that information to create a sophisticated web of social connections of some U.S. citizens, according to documents leaked to the New York Times.
We assume as Americans that if the government is looking at your information, it's because they have a reason, because you're suspected of a crime.
This slide from an NSA PowerPoint presentation shows how analysts use software to create diagrams to chart a person's social ties, locations at certain times, their traveling companions, and other personal information, according to the documents leaked by former government contractor Edward Snowden. The policy shift intended to help the agency discover and track when there's a link between an intelligence interest overseas and a U.S. citizen. The NSA can also draw on material from Facebook profiles, GPS location information, insurance information, property records, and other public and commercial sources to better analyze Americans' phone and email logs.
Now we know from these leaks that this is how the government is operating, that there is a much broader swath of people, that Americans are included in this mix.
In a statement, the agency says, "We know there is a false perception out there that the NSA listens to the phone calls and reads the emails of everyday Americans, aiming to unlawfully monitor or profile U.S. citizens. It's just not the case." NSA Chief Keith Alexander has said a person's individual data is analyzed only when there's a foreign intelligence justification. While some argue the NSA surveillance efforts are keeping Americans safer, critics say this latest disclosure is yet another example of how the NSA is infringing on Americans' privacy.
Americans assume a right to a certain kind of privacy that usually starts at the door to their home.
The leaked documents do not specify how many American citizens have been caught up in this effort and how many have actually been involved in wrongdoing, according to the New York Times. Now, in the wake of these recent disclosures, President Obama has ordered a review of the NSA's surveillance policies.
More and more information coming out. All right, Pamela, thank you so much.
Thank you.
And we want to hear your thoughts on this and all the stories that we're talking about. Tweet #NewDay and let us know what you think as you get your day going today.
If you're angry, make sure it's to @Kate Baldwin.
Exactly. Coming up next on New Day.